Champions of Australia, you'll never sing that. Good day, mate. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. It's been a good day, to be fair, for the Newcastle fans over there in Australia. Fair play to them all that have went to the game this morning against Spurs. I was watching on NUFC's website at 10:45 AM. Kickoff was delayed by a little bit, but Newcastle United got the job done in the end over Spurs, Australian champions. I mean, well, we'll play the A-League Australian side on Friday, is it? I think it's like 8 o'clock in the morning here. It's about 2 weeks' time in Australia. You know, they're in the future there. Back to the future sentence. So they're playing over there in what is winter as well, and the dark night, and it was just a dark morning and raining here, so there wasn't much difference. But we'll talk about that Australia game before we do get into the title of the video, which is Newcastle United very close to signing not one, but two new players. Defenders. The ones we've been linked in for quite some time now. But let's talk about that game then over there in Melbourne quickly. And it was James Maddison. Of course it was. Ex-Newcastle target this time last year. All we were talking about was signing James Maddison. Pops up, scores a goal this morning in Australia, or the night time there. God, that's going to be long explaining this, isn't it? In the game in Australia, Maddison scored the opening goal. But Nick Pope, what the hell are you doing, son? Pope obviously didn't get any kip on that flight over Australia, because that was horrendous. He passes it straight to Maddison. Oh my days. And Maddison, to be fair, does hit his hand, so it is handball. Then he skips past one or two in the box and puts it home, and again it just kind of slaps off Pope's forearm, and it was banned from Pope. You know what I mean? Jet lag FC, to be fair. That game was jet lag. It wasn't a great game. Listen, we knew it wasn't. How can you blame these players? I'm just on a wind up. How can you blame any of these players after a long old season like this, a long old slog of a season, and they go over there to Australia on a 24-hour flight, and then they've got to play a day later? You could see that both teams just didn't want to be there. Both teams couldn't be arsed. Isak equalises for Newcastle, but there's moments in that game where it's hilarious because he just doesn't even run. You know, he's going up against Mickey van der Ven, who he spun twice at St James's Park the other month, put him on his arse, and he's just in a race with him, and he's like, nah, can't be bothered. I'm not dealing with this. Right, what's this for? Finally, Australia, no, I'm not doing it. Didn't even attempt to run, didn't even attempt to commit, and he's just jogging, and then him and that Mickey van der Ven were laughing. So it was funny. A lot of players were just laughing and joking the day. Trippier was falling on top of his son, and then they were hugging, and then they were arguing because someone wanted a penalty in the next phase. But I was just a bit mad. It was a proper... it's not even pre-season, it's a post-season game, like they always ever existed. But we all know the tune are out there. For FFP purposes, us and Spurs are getting a few £1 million. So it's ridiculous the extreme lengths you've got to go to in this day and age to combat financial fair play. But it was 1-1 at half-time. Isak, like I say, equalised, and then we just rang the changes. I think we made about 12 changes or something, daft like that. I think that we had to change the armband about 12 times, about 12 different captains. And we ended up with Mark Gillespie in goal and loads of youngsters, a few of them who are actually not even getting extended contracts at the club this summer. They're getting released, but they're having a nice little jolly days in there in Australia. So I'm going to enjoy I'm a Newcastle player, get me out of here. I'm an academy product, get me out of here. So they're on the last chance saloon. It's gone. They're on holiday. You got Dummett and Richie doing up war flags. That was a good video with that the club put out on social media. Dummett and Richie were helping war flags in the Australian crowd. You know what I mean? This is only Newcastle United. It's hilarious. It really is. 1-1. Gillespie comes on. Turns out to be the hero. Grand Kowal came on as well. We finally got to see Kowal in black and white. You know, he got a big round of applause, a great reception from the Aussies, what with him being one himself. He bagged his penalty. Harrison Ashby was the decider. He scored the final penalty to make Newcastle 5-4 winners in the shootout after a 1-1 draw. And then the best part of all is Dan Burn sprinting towards Gillespie and jumping on his back in the shootout. Murphy and that giving it big ins on the dugout. You know, they just love it, don't they? Champions of Australia. I told you, they're taking it seriously. Hey, what a funny old day. What a funny old game that was. Mad. Yeah, strange. Anyways, let's get on to the transfer topics now. Let us know in the comments if you watched the game, what you thought of it. So the Mail are reporting that Tosin Adarabioyo to Newcastle United is pretty much a done deal. Barring any last-minute hiccups, he will be signing for Newcastle United this week. That deal could be concluded in London in the next coming days. Next couple of days, the upcoming days, Adarabioyo to the Toon, wearing the black and white. Happy days. Tosin Adarabioyo from Fulham, the 26-year-old who is on a free transfer, 6'5", Manchester City Academy graduate. He's been getting lots of good reviews and whatnot from the press and from players and from pundits alike this season, and a little bit from the season before, to be fair. And obviously, if you're coming up through Man City's academy, you've probably learned a thing or two. And he's been at Fulham now. He's made over 130 appearances for the cottages, whatever you want to call them, that posh side in London. He's doing very well. And obviously, Manchester United were meant to be stealing in for him. Last week or so came out that they wanted him and that they were now in the race, jumping the queue ahead of Newcastle United. They were trying to get him. Wouldn't have Ashworth had anything to do with that, eh? Tapping up, little snake, yeah? He probably sent a few emails trying to get Tosin. Well, Tosin knows there's only one United now, and that is Newcastle United, not Manchester United. We finished above them in the league. We're getting European football. Please, Man City beat them on Saturday in the FA Cup final. And he's going to come to the Mags instead. Apparently, he's very impressed with the project at hand. He's enthusiastic about it, and he really wants to work with Eddie Howe as well. And let's be honest, he will be a starter for the Toon next season. What with Jamal Lascelles and Sven Botman's injuries keeping them out for another good few months at least. So Adarabioyo is expected to be starting in central defence for us next season. So he's all but tied up. Like I said, he could be signed and sealed, delivered come the following days. You know what, we're on a Wednesday now. Hopefully we can get it done by the weekend. That would be absolutely lovely. And what a start of the transfer window that would be. If we could wrap up a solid free transfer like that, an area that we desperately need. Centre back, you know, I think we needed it anyways before the injuries to Botman and Lascelles. Now it's blatantly obvious we need to strengthen that squad depth and our starting lineup in defence. So I think Tosin, who comes in, Premier League proven, agile, good with the ball, strong. Those are the skills that have impressed Eddie Howe in Newcastle to go ahead and make this deal happen. And on the other hand of that, it's not just him that could be coming through the door this week. It's also Bournemouth's Lloyd Kelly. Again, another free transfer. So a lot of people will be thinking, free? What's that this about? Just Mike Ashley days or what? No, it's PSR and FFP days. Unfortunately, in the two very smart signings, in my opinion, that allow us to spend the cash that we've got left after all these daft rules on other positions. You know, we will now target that right wing, and I think we'll spend a lot of money on that. Obviously, primary target is Michael Elise for 60 million. We'll link with Pedro Neto, a few others. So that's the position we need. Obviously, goalkeeper, we're very heavily linked with Aaron Ramsdale and Georgi Mamadishvili from Valencia. So that's going to be a good 100-odd million on them two, whichever two you get on those two positions. So to get two other players in for the squad, your Kellys and your Adarabioyos, for free, it's an absolute no-brainer. And it means we can see the end, maybe, unless you believe these Conference League rumours that we're going to give them new deals, that the likes of Richie and, you know, your Dummets can leave and they can be strengthened by younger, better players. So Kelly from Bournemouth as well. We've talked about him in other videos. He's been linked for quite some time. Apparently we could seal that signing in the next week as well. So all guns blazing. We haven't stopped playing football. Yeah, we're still playing football after the season's finished. We're still waiting to see if we get European football as well with the FA Cup final result on Saturday. And we're already making moves before the transfer window is even opened on these free agents. So we're active, we're busy, we're on it. And that's what we like to see. We like to see this, get these deals done quickly and get strengthened ahead of what is a huge season next year. But obviously we can see already how action-packed and busy the summer transfer window will be. So let me know in the comments what you make of Tosin and Kelly to Newcastle and the Australia game as well. There's loads of content coming your way. Listen, the season's finished, but my God, we're doing daily videos more than ever. It gets very busy this time of year, and there's lots flying around. And obviously, the kit video last night, I've had loads of good feedback from that, so cheers for that. Drop your thoughts, as always, on this one in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one.